Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to another vlog here. I'm going to be playing a full 18. I'm going to try to capture as many shots as I can. Using Jim's method this morning, of course, and staying committed to being still. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's just see how we do. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning after all the rain this week. So I look forward to playing this one. Have a good one, guys. So we start with number one. Number one is a downhill 332 yard par 4. Just need to get this on, left is okay, right is a little bit better, but here I did a little bit of low draw though, and left me a bit of ways here. So here 140 yards with an 8 iron. Just need to get this just on the right side of the flag. Instead I kind of push it. That over the top swing showing up again. It's gonna be like that all video, guys, so just have to look out for that. And here's just about finesse on my strength, I hope, my short game. And here's a little chip with the 56 degree. Got it pretty close, and had an opportunity here for to save a par right away. And I've kept the flag in so you guys can see where, of course, where the pin is. And there I made my par, so I'm pretty happy with that. So here we've got a par 3, 167 yards. Just got my 7 iron out. Might have been too little club, and you see I came up short and right, and so probably should have gone with 6. But here, a nice little stab at it. It bounced off the collar and went long. So I've got a chance here to save par and make a good putt at it, but I actually would miss the next putt there, and then the putt after. So I got a double on that one, and my swing shot's been acting up, so it didn't record some things, and that's that's unfortunate. That was a 5. And then here, pushing right again on a 359 yard par 4. Here with a 6 iron from about 170 away, and I just hit this solid. It comes up just a little bit short and right, but it's actually pinned high. And here I've got a long birdie of putt, and I kind of just like put some extra top spin, side spin on it, and it really wasn't the best of strikes there. Coming right back at you though, and I missed the par putt there, unfortunately, and I had to settle for bogey. Here's kind of a dogleg right, 370 yard par 4, and I hit this pretty good low and drawing. So by getting the fairway, which is another fairway hit, here from about 140 yards, again 8 iron and pin high, give me an opportunity here and use my short game yet again. Kind of a similar shot that I just had on number 1, so hoping to get this one close. Just kind of tough though, it's all downhill, and it hits the collar right there and just keeps rolling, and it rolls off to the left. So comeback putt for par. Just kind of thinking it's going to go left to right, just not sure how much left to right, and it's got a good angle into it, but unfortunately that was just didn't go in, so I got another bogey there. Here on a downhill 343 yard par 4. Good one here. Probably got it more on the heel, so it didn't go as far. So I've got about 160 yards here. Got my 7 iron out, and just hoping to get good contact, and I do. But you can tell I kind of just didn't. I stopped swinging. Over that top kind of cost me, but it wasn't that bad of a miss. Soggy little area there. So, and then here I kind of blade my pitching wedge, intended to bump and run. You can tell I'm not happy about that. Putt coming back, good pace on it, but not high enough, and so I missed that. Another bogey. So par 5 here, 517 yards. Always gives me trouble, especially on the drive coming in. Gotta hit this, pretty solid. Here I hit it really good, actually. It drew really nicely. Been further, but I'm getting used to knowing that my distances are going to come back as I hone in this swing. I'm still seeing my shoulders aren't completely closed at setup, so it's something to look into, and it's kind of what happens there. I kind of double crossed myself, and I just dead push that. way into the trees here. And here I'm trying to do my punch shot that I've never tried. So like Jim says, you gotta bring the shots that you've tried, not the ones you haven't. And there, I actually was okay with that. Kept it under the trees and left myself about 110 yard shot here. Just got my 50-degree wedge. It's like my gap wedge. Pins in the back, and I hit this pretty solid. And it's an example of some of the power you get with that. And look where I ended up, just pin high. Wanted to make this birdie this par pretty bad, but missed it and settled for a bogey. This is always the toughest hole right here, this 140 yard par 3. It's just the green is just so sloped, and getting anywhere close on this one is good for me. Unfortunately, it was playing really short, about 120 yards, and I scuffed a pitching wedge 110 yards and left myself quite the putt coming up. And I actually put a good run on it. You can tell, just a couple feet away, and that's not bad. Saved a par as a result, and not too shabby so far. 363 yard par 4 here. Everything's downhill, and you see I'm kind of aimed to the right, and I do this a lot, even with my formerly regular swing, and it kind of forces me to kind of go over the top, but also hook on my misses. And so here I actually hit the fairway though, so I'm happy with that. Another low one, and here we've got still got a good ways, about 175 yards or so. So I got a 6-iron because it goes downhill and then slightly up at the end. But as you can tell, I hit that pretty solid. I've got all the low shots right now. I've got to get used to that, and so that's fine. Now I get to use more of my bump and run. This is just with a 52 degree. As soon as I hit it, I felt like, I should use my 56 because it started rolling out pretty quick. And so, that was for par. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was a good opportunity there, and yeah, that was a good putt, good look at it. But that was my birdie attempt, and then my par attempt, and then I hit that bogey. So another bogey on that one. The par 4s weren't being very nice to me. And here, number 9, 326 yards. I just pushed this out to the right, hit it pretty solid. I would say I had about 130 here. Used my 9-iron and got really lucky. You can see it just goes right through the trees, and the pin's kind of on that same line, slightly to the right. And I ended up in a really good spot here for birdie. I really wanted to make this one, and it just turned hard right on me. And on the next putt, I just really wanted to make this one, and I don't know if you guys can really see that, but yeah, right there, I just missed it on the low side. And so my first 3-putt of the round, and so that was really unfortunate. But 43 on the front, not too terrible, a lot better than what I've been. And here we play the West Links, where we kind of travel across the neighborhood through golf cart, and this one opening up with the par 5, and just hit this solid right in the middle of the fairway too. Now, first time 3-wood comes out. This is something I've had trouble with, and I hit it all right. It was just really low, a topper, and but the key is I'm in the fairway. I've got an opportunity, and here from about 150 yards with 7-iron, kind of a half swing, and got it relatively close. Didn't get all of it. It bounced in the fringe and then bounced out. And now here I've got a good opportunity. This is a heck of a putt for birdie, and I thought it was going to creep in, but just lost a little steam. Made that putt, so not a bad start. Get a par on that par 5, which rarely happens. Short par 4 here, 330 yards. You can usually hit this pretty good, and I hit it really solid. It just went out to the left and into the rough. So from about 105 yards here, I have my 52 out, and just came over the top of it. It's in the rough, so pin's way right, and so I'm super safe on that one. And it's not a bad miss. I was super safe, and my putting was decent, and so as you can see, the ball came up on the right side there. Look at the pace was right, but just the accuracy there. And I had to take off the outwear here. It's getting a little warm Unfortunately, I made a bogey on that hole, and this was par 3. Missed my long putt that came up that close, and unfortunately, still got a bogey out of that, so actually didn't come as close as I thought. Some lost footage with the swing shot's been acting up on me. Like I said, I've got to reset it. Par 4 coming up here, 378 yards. It sounds a lot longer than it is. It plays all kind of downhill, but it doesn't help when you push out right. But here, using my hybrid, I'm trying to just punch out of this one, get in a good spot, and I hit this solid. And it hits the little branch on the left side, but gets lucky and stays in the fairway here from only about 90 yards, using my 50 degree and hoping to pitch it up there, and I just missed it. And then I lost the rest of that hole, and I got a bogey out of it. Didn't chip it close. And this is a really tricky par 3, 147 yards, water all right, and also in front of the green. And I managed it somewhere on the right side, but my chip, I bladed it, and now this is for par. And it's a good putt, and I make that one, and so come away with it with a bogey, not bad. Here par 4 always gives me trouble. It's all downhill, 378 yards, and everything fades off to the right for some reason on this hole, and there's all water on this right side, so you can see how close I was to it. But it was just one of my true distances where I actually hit it usually, so it was good. But you can tell that really kind of chicken wing over the top kind of shot, it's not going to work well. Seeing a lot difference of my swing in these full 18 rounds versus what I do in the par 3, so I'll definitely have to get back to it. Kind of been using the par 3 as a driving range, so to speak. So here I'm using a pitching wedge, just hoping to just bump and run this up there, and I got a decent amount, but it just kind of ran out of steam, and I had a decent putt still left to make up for it. And the wind started blowing a little bit. Didn't affect the putt, of course, but you can tell. And I didn't make that putt, so I've got another bogey on my card. Here, best iron swing of the day. Probably not accurate to what we're looking for in terms of the head movement. You can see there, I kind of moved my entire body like a little lunge, but man, 180 yards, 6 iron downhill. I'll take that, and look where I ended up here. I really wanted to make this birdie. It was right to left, slightly uphill. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. And then that random kind of tennis topspin putt comes up, and it really just screws me up. And so I got a par out of it, and that's just the way it happens sometimes. So I guess I'll take that. Wouldn't have been nice to have a birdie, but either way, here on a short par 4, 333 yards. Hit this really out to the left myself quite a bit. You see 150 marker right there, so I got about 180, 5 iron, and I just duff it. I didn't have the weight on the right side or on the left side correctly, so it still left me about 95 yards here. Just want to get it over to that first tree, and I end up pulling it far left. Kind of wondering what I'm doing, and then so I've got my pitching wedge here. And I kind of hit it a little firm, but actually worked out. And I got to a decent spot, but I missed the putt, and I had to settle for a double bogey, unfortunately. So just like that, we're on number 18 now, and this is a par 5, 463 yards. Here, I just really want to get it kind of curving on that very far right tree, or not that very far one, but the closest one, and I just straight up hook it somehow into the fairway, though. Yeah, my hybrid here, I just need to hit this right down the middle, and I push it out to the right. I hit it good, I just pushed it. You can tell my alignment is just not the best. And then here I've got a 7 iron for about 160. And then, set myself up in a good spot here. Still got a chance, got my pitching wedge for my bump and run. Need to just get this close, try to save par. And I hit this really solid. And I judged it really good there, so I'm really happy with how that turned out. And here, for par, nice little scramble. I just want to make this one, and there you go. In terms of the round, I shot 84, which is probably the best I've done
I don't know if all, yeah, probably all year, an 84. Um, it's it was a grind. I'll tell you that. I made I made no, I didn't make any four. I didn't putt 4 times on one hole. My highest one was a 3. I hit the fairway on the front 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times out of 7 chances to get on the fairway. So I would say that's pretty good. And then that was my fault in the back 9. So shooting 84, I don't know what to say. I can't say it's a coincidence. My mantra today was commit to stillness, and what Jim and I have been talking about, commit to stillness, and that was incredibly helpful, because committing to stillness in my mind is kind of building a solid foundation of the left side, and then just swinging. I got into trouble when I started overcomplicating it, and and that happened on the back 9, and you'll see that from a couple shots here upcoming, or that you just saw. So I've got some work to do though, but missed a couple of putts that changed those 3s into 2s, and I've broken 80. So overall, I'm very pleased with how I play. I had one mental lapse in terms of thinking about a different swing. I was getting really tired on number 18, really, and I was just like, my old swing, it's very effortless for me just to turn through and turn back, with a 7-iron. With this swing, and it's because of I'm still don't have it right yet. I'm not making great contact. I'm wiping across the ball. I'm still coming over the top. So there's little room for error of what I'm learning. I know Jim's gonna help me and correct that, but for right now, the misses were weren't quality, but they were straight, or they were pushes, when I know for sure I wiped across it and headed it out right. So overall, ball striking could be a lot better. I did miss the feeling of pure strikes, and really easy, turn back, turn through like I'm used to. But that's ingrained in me still, of bad habits, because I've done that, and it's micromanaging movements, and I don't want that anymore. Today there was no micromanaging of movements whatsoever. It was just a matter of it's about having mental lapses of staying still and swinging outside, and I'm still learning that process. And so hopefully Jim can take a look at my swings and see what's going on. But I really focused hard today, and I think it paid off really well by the way you saw how I grinded away today. So I want to thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the positive, the negative. It's not a big deal. This is my journey, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, check out my vlog here, from scratch to scratch. That scratches to scratch is with a 2, .blogspot.com. So from scratch to scratch .blogspot.com. I want to thank you guys again. As always, take care. Stay tuned.